Hi, my loves. Welcome back to another episode of Tea and Takes with Simi. How are you doing? It's good to have you here. Um, Today's take is quite simple. My take is that if you're focused on you, you would find opportunities or um opportunities for joy and happiness in like right where you are. So I say this because I just came back from a lovely, lovely vacation in some of the countries around Africa. I went to two countries here in Africa. That honestly, the price of was surprising to me. I think for the longest time, whenever I thought of going on vacation, I thought you had to have like all the money in the world. You were going to have to spend so much because, of course, the vacations I saw, the prices I saw were like pretty high. But it wasn't until I thought of it as a possibility. Like, I really want to do this. And once I began to do my search, I began to find opportunities that had just as much joy. Like, where I went to, there were like lovely beaches. I stayed at two different beach resorts in like the two different countries. And I enjoyed like, I've always wanted to go to places like, Zanzibar or like the Maldives, where there's like water and like lovely beaches and stuff. However, I found these places where it were were cheaper, and they had the same things. They had the water. I was like listening to the waves while I went to bed. There was like the cool, lovely beach breeze. Like, I basically enjoyed everything I probably will enjoy when I can finally afford to go to my top, vacation locations. I enjoyed them with like more than like a quarter of the funds that it would require for me to go to those like more high end places. And this only happened because I thought of it as a possibility and was like, I want to do this. Let me look for what is within my range. So my thought is that I think that some people spend so much of their lives just thinking like their happiness is like in some place in the future. It's like, oh, it's only when I make this amount of money that I will be able to do this thing. And then they're always like looking at the people who are making that amount of money, say like, oh, look at this person. Maybe they either known or just like a celebrity. It's like, oh, look at this celebrity that can afford to go to this country and this country, and look at this person that is like maybe even in their life that they know that is like so rich that they can afford this and this and this. And I think that if they can remove their eyes from looking at other people's lives and look at their own life and be like, oh, in the place I am right now, what can I do to achieve just the same amount of joy that going to this other high end place would give me, but like with the funds I can afford? I think that like the world opens up to you once you do that. And I recall so many even gadgets I have at home right now, where before, if you're only looking at the person who affords like the greatest of that gadget, then you always think you cannot afford it. But if you're able to be like, okay, how much do I actually have? And what is the market that actually caters to this budget? You just find out that once you tell yourself that like, how can I restructure my joy to fit my budget? Like, the opportunities begin to open up for you to actually find out that there are actually people who, like, their target audience is you in your range. So because, for example, this vacation, once I opened my mind to be like, okay, let me save towards this particular budget and decide that this is the vacation I wanted to go. And I thought of this even like a year ago. I told myself, in this amount I can afford right now, I want to go on a vacation next year. I thought that last year. And I said, like, okay, this is the amount I can save up, on a monthly basis to be able to achieve this aim. And it was like my Instagram or my social media, it was like God. I also prayed about it. And I felt like the world, God, the universe, everything started aligning to show me like people who were like catering to my audience. Like, that was the core. In fact, there were businesses who, if you actually wanted to go to those bigger countries, they were not catering to you. They were catering just to, you want to still have fun, you want to still have that relaxed vacation feel, but you have like your budget is much smaller. And they were catering to that. And guess what? Like, as someone who has just come back right now, I feel so relaxed. I feel so happy. I feel so grateful to God. I feel the same way I think I will feel when I can finally afford the bigger destinations. I still, at the end of the day, I'm trying, no, I'm trying to look for words. I'm at loss of words to just articulate how much our happiness is never far away. It's always present. It's always so close to us. But because we're always looking in the distance, we're always looking afar off, thinking that it's the happiness is at that salary. When we start earning that amount of money, we will be happy. So many of I think this has been my year of looking like I got a lot of things done, not because I had so much more money, but because I just decided to be like, where you are right now, what can you afford? How can you, like, and then you realize that a lot of things you thought were like so expensive or so impossible to do, they really weren't. You were just looking at impossible one and deciding that that is your threshold. But there always is an affordable option that will give you much like the same amount of joy as the very extravagant one. And it doesn't mean that this is to say you shouldn't dream of the bigger things. You should dream, but in the moment while you're still dreaming, you still deserve happiness. Your happiness is not postponed. The way to live life, I think, is to decide that there's happiness at every stage of your life. When you get to that higher place, that happiness will also exist. But where you are right now, there is happiness to be had. There are experiences to be had that, funny enough, maybe when you get to that stage, you might not even be able to experience. So you should experience them now. Um, yeah, I just hope that this speaks to the person who needs it. Like, stop counting other people's, stop looking at other people. I'm not even saying looking at them in like envy or any negative feeling. It might even be admiration. It might be looking at them in admiration, in inspiration as well, being inspired by them, to be like, oh, I'm so inspired by this person to go get this, to get to this next level, to one day become this person. But sometimes even in the inspiration, we might lose ourselves, because at the end of the day, comparison of any kind just doesn't bring a lot of positives, because it makes you forget that there is joy to be had, there are opportunities to be had where you are at the moment. All right, that's my take for today. Have a lovely, lovely day and week ahead. Bye.